Everyone ready?
This is the SEC Insider Hit. Presented by your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Go local. Go with a home team.
SEC Insider Hit. NFL draft coverage brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Bundle your car and home and save with your Farm Bureau Insurance agent in any of the 82 counties in Mississippi. For excellent customer service, go to favrates.com. We welcome in Roll Tide, Ryan Fowler, 109 The Game, Tuscaloosa. Alabama had plenty of draft picks over the weekend, and the Texans gave away way too much capital, bringing in Will Anderson. But Bryce Young, Bama finally gets that number one pick. And quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. There's a debate going on the show. Who will be a better NFL QB? Stetson Bennett IV or Bryce Young? Ryan Fowler, what do you think? Who will be a better NFL QB?
Oh, it's no doubt it's Bryce Young. I don't think Stetson Bennett. You got to remember, he's not the. I mean, I know this is probably going to shock some people, but he's not the smartest guy in the room. So. Don't know exactly his Wonderlic test, but or whatever they call it now, but I would imagine it's not too high. It's they've kind of had to force feed him the academic side. My understanding is, unless he's done it, here in the last couple of weeks, he walked out of Georgia without even a degree.
What? He was in college for 7 years.
Yeah, I know he could have got a PhD, but yeah, he. I mean, they may have to push him through. They may have to give him an honorary degree. One of those that they just, yeah. I mean, some of it's because he's transferred quite a few times, but
right.
Yeah. He was not on track when I spoke to someone back in. Someone reached out to me and told me this and told me to consider, as a Heisman voter, you look at character and, student athlete, that didn't really impact my vote. I mean, I was not going to put Stetson Bennett at one anyway, but, yeah. Anyway, Roll Tide. Yeah, good morning. Our guy graduated, by the way. I mean, I know that didn't show up in the trophy cabinet, but yeah, Bryce is.
So Bryce graduated in 3 years?
Yeah, Bryce, I'm pretty sure he was on the list back in December. Yeah.
What? That's impressive.
Yeah, I know he did. Yep. No, he did. I'm looking at the photo right now.
Okay. He graduated in 2.5 years?
He was an early enrollee.
Okay, so that ended up being 3 in December. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But, coming from California, I bet you his academics were in par. Not saying they do a good job with academics. You can tell just by visiting that state. But when you look at college credits, because see, this is the thing that I did not. Bo, I don't know how about you, but growing up in North Alabama, I didn't arrive at Alabama because see, that's the trick. Some of these kids come in with so many college credits.
No doubt.
I mean, they come in. Yeah, I wasn't in that level. I was just thankful that I got here. I didn't show up with a bag full of credits and go, hey, let me trade these for 2 years worth of college. No. I mean, I was on the 5.5-year plan as it was.
Yeah. Do you have your PhD now?
No. I actually, I did not finish the PhD, but I did finish all the credit hours for the PhD.
Oh, it's the dissertation.
I never wrote my dissertation. I did complete a lot of the research.
Okay.
And but no, I've got 120 hours of grad work.
Dang.
Ryan, don't they have people that write stuff like that for you at Alabama?
Wow.
Not in the science department. You got to do your own research. That one's a little different. I don't know. They may do that in some consumer sciences, but in hard sciences, that's probably not an option.
Hold on. What? Tell me your PhD was in.
Well, it was human anatomy physiology, is where I was at, and I was studying some CDC data. So my heavy emphasis was I took 12 grad level stats classes. And so what I was doing is I was analyzing the NHANES data, which is a national health analysis. Now, you guys are going to roll over because, do as I say, not as I do. I was actually studying obesity trends in basically how we have manufactured physical activity out of our mainstream population. Something as simple as sweeping the floor. Now we have a robot. Well, that's 25 calories or 30 calories.
Got it.
Now we have an electric can opener instead of a manual can opener. That was 5 calories. You add all this up today, and it's something as simple as walking to the mailbox. So what I did is I went to study an Amish population, and I did the only study that had ever been done on Amish in the United States. It was the first, and what we did is we asked them to wear an accelerometer. And accelerometer measures not just your steps, but your also intensity. So moderate, high intensity, low intensity. These jokers, okay, we struggled to get to 10,000 steps. They've now reduced it where the recommendation's around 7,500. If you get 7,500 a day, that's physical activity. These jokers were getting 80 to 90,000 steps per day.
What?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! I've been after the I've been on the 10,000 steps thing.
Yes.
I've now got to totally reset my goals. God.
So these guys were 80, 70, 80, 90,000, and they ate garbage. Okay, I mean I'm talking about things that they tell us to avoid. They ate all of it. They ate sweets every morning. They ate gravy on everything. The stuff that they tell us to avoid is they eat it. You walk up to them, I would have to explain when I was going through my health survey what hypertension was. I'd be like, hypertension, cardiovascular. Now, some of that's because they don't have the access to the medical care. So if they have diabetes, they don't know anything about it. And literally, the diseases in that population was almost zero.
Wow.
It was odd to find. It was just simply physical activity. So then I started kind of studying, well, how did we regress? Because this is the way that, most people lived 40, 50, 60 years ago, and how we had manufactured that out of our society. So my goal was to kind of show that. And hey, talk radio has a different way, and I'm very thankful. I mean, I don't look at it as a regret. So my wife and I pulled in off of 73, and she finished her PhD. So she is, she got that mark. Got a few names or initials after her name, but all me is sports talk radio junkie.
Okay.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Covered Nick Saban for a living, better than
Well,
and you know what?
You were
I
too
read
busy
this
going
thing.
to college football playoff appearances and national championship games.
But
To
I would have had to accept liberalology, right? I mean, I'd have had to like color my hair, wear Birkenstocks. I mean, I'm glad I am who I am. They didn't try to shake me, so that was a good thing.
Hey, I got a question. If you put an accelerometer on Nick Saban, what do you think he'd hit?
Yes.
on a because that man's moving.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that, but I think the thing with him is that he would show up because and that's the other thing. They were like 12 to 14-hour days were their off days. So they were 5 in the morning to 10 at night. And in the mainstream population, we already had a lot of the data, so we were doing some comparisons there. So, yeah, Nick Saban would skew the data big. Yeah, he would big time. But, I mean, he skews the data on everything, just about.
No doubt.
He goes above the average. So, yeah, I mean, Nick Saban would be a guy that would – I don't know how many steps that he would take, but I know his days – and that's one of the things that the accelerometer measures is the time. that you begin activity.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do you think that helps me doing a morning drive time show?
Yeah, I think it would because, you're up. What time do you roll out? 5 o'clock, 5 a.m.?
So I get up around 5-ish. And
yeah, see, that's more than the average. The average probably is 7,
okay.
7:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you roll. What time do you go to bed? 6:30, 7?
No, I go to bed between 9:30 and 10. Sometimes a little earlier. Like last night, I went to bed earlier. I got in the shower. I think just a little after 9. I hit the shower and I was out a little before 9:30.
So you missed the episode of Naked and Afraid? That was big last night on Discovery. You missed that?
I did. I didn't even know it was on. I don't really watch TV that much.
No, I don't either.
I watch a ton of football, and
yeah.
Every now and then I can get on a series, but I've kind of broken up with Netflix the last year or so. It's a real back and forth type deal.
Yeah,
and
sure.
If I can find anything else to do, then I'm doing that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. We've got so many TVs in this house, but and we pay $160 for DirecTV a month, and we don't get our money's worth. We don't get it. Every time my wife pays that bill, she says, "We don't even turn the TV on," and she's right. We don't. So we need to improve that. But I kept it for NFL.
Yeah.
See, this is a good segue here. I kept DirecTV because I was hoping that they would create, like they've got this Red Zone channel, they've got Fantasy channel where you can follow all the superstars, the fantasy leaders. I proposed that they need a Bama channel. With so many Alabama guys in the NFL, just show what the Alabama guys are doing.
Well, if they do
Bama
that,
channel.
Then they're going to have a Kirby Smart channel. Because if you look the most draft picks the last 5 years.
Just show Philadelphia. Just show Philadelphia.
That's true. That is right. But the last 5 years, Georgia's had 48 and Bama's had 46 draft picks.
Okay. Well, I'm humming because I just got a contractor that sent me an estimate. So to replace, my wife's got this remodel, literally just like 20 seconds ago. It'll cost us $23,400 to add the decks, the step, the new flooring, replace any bad wood. $33,000 to do Trex wood instead of wood.
Oh, you want to do Trex?
Yeah. We just talked about TV. The worst thing they ever did for a woman. Okay, we're talking to mainly men this morning. We got a lot of women out there. Hello, I hope you guys are having a great morning. Worst thing that they ever did for a woman is to create home and garden TV. Home and garden for us, okay? They rebuild a home in 30 minutes. In heels. Watch them. Flip it on. They'll tear down a whole entire house, and they'll rebuild that thing in 35 minutes. My wife watches this. Okay, you got to remember, she's highly intelligent, but we don't click too well with the materials, construction. But because she's watched that video and watched that Pinterest, we feel like we can tackle this job.
Okay, so are you gonna do?
Heck no!
Okay.
No, listen, man, that's one Jesus characteristic that I will never be like, a carpenter. Never.
Me too. So 30. I'd go with the Trek. I did it outside my boathouse. We have a company called Cypress Depot that sells it. It's great. And, I wasn't sure about it. They just said, "Hey, here's what you need to do." And I went, "Okay." And it's been awesome.
What the problem is the wood that you buy now is not even treated. Like, it's treated, but it doesn't last but like 5, 6, 7 years.
I know. We have to keep doing my pier. It's just ridiculous.
This is my liberal logic, okay? We reduce the chemicals where it doesn't harm the planet, but we use 3 times as many wood in the same period of time.
Crazy.
Makes sense to me.
Ryan, I noticed that you changed the subject pretty quickly. Do you realize if you took that $33,000 and sent it to Nick Saban's NIL fund, y'all might catch up to Georgia in draft picks?
We could. could, but I don't think my wife's for the NIL, even though she's an employee of the great University of Alabama. I don't think she's not for the NIL. She listen, and if I don't get this deck done, I've heard about it for 5.5 months.
Oh, man.
If I don't, you guys, everybody can understand the same thing.
Well, what happened in
Remodeling
America
stressful.
is for general contractors, landscape architects, the best thing that happened is in the last 10 years, maybe a little bit longer, the boom in what you can do to your, like you're describing, your outdoor deck, patio, area is just so much cooler and so on. Everybody's doing it. And if you get in that space and you're good at it, there's a lot of companies that aren't, there's a lot, and there's some that are, then it's a gravy train, my man, because there's always another patio, deck, whatever to be added to.
Well, and some of this is being repaired. We live on an acre pond, and some of it's our dock going down, down to the pond. So that wood doesn't last very long, and maybe that's where we go with the trek boards. But yeah, that's.
Let's talk
that's
about the new
cash.
Notre Dame guy.
Okay.
Did
You need
Simpson?
to break, and then we'll come back and do another segment on Bama.
Yeah, absolutely. We're visiting with Ryan Fowler, 109 The Game, Tuscaloosa. He's on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line.
SEC hit insider Roll Tide Ryan.
Roll Tide Ryan Fowler. So what did Milroe or Simpson go to the portal?
No, that's. I would have lost a lot of money because I thought immediately when Tyler Buckner came in that you would lose one of these transfers. I thought there was no way that you could prevent it. No way. I said there's got to be. There's got to be a reason that they're going into this transfer portal. They're going to push somebody there. And here we are, right? Is today the last day or was it yesterday?
Yesterday. Blake, will you look it up?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure yesterday.
I know. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. It was 15-day window from April 15th to April 30th. Now we have 15 days, I think, to declare to what school you're going to.
Right, bidding war.
Until May the 15th.
Right.
Yeah. Some of these quarterbacks are going to make a ton because there's so many places that need quarterbacks. I guess here we are.
Tyler Simpson got like a ton of money to go to Bama. And maybe Milroe did too. Maybe they shot themselves, but nobody's got that kind of dough. I'm just thinking out loud. What do you make of once the Notre Dame guy said I'm coming to Alabama that Milroe and
then they went out there and went the market. Yeah, this
yep.
No. And see, the problem is we're being told, do you have a problem? And listen, I love On3. I think the On3 people that we get on our show are great. I read a lot of their work. I disagree with their NIL evaluator. This thing is just an algorithm that we throw up against the wall. Well, he's a $500,000 player. He's a $750,000 player. They got a basketball player at LSU. She's a $1.4 million player. Well, no, he's $100,000. He's a $100,000 player. This algorithm is based on what? Twitter followers, Instagram followers. So in reality, what happens when these players don't get that? They get upset.
Right.
They get upset. They get mad. And so we've created this false. I just don't think the money's out here that we pretend like it is. Yeah, you may have a Texas. You may have a TCU. You may have a Miami. But the average school in the SEC, I don't think is out here rolling in the cash. And, maybe Tennessee with the Haslams. Auburn's boosters are so mad at them right now, so they don't. I'm not sure they're all for NIL right now. So.
Why do you say that?
Well, there was a lot of big dispute. I mean, Bo, I don't even think people realize, what Auburn has done. I mean, you know it because you follow it. But, I mean, listen, all of that to get Brian Harsin out, we made up a story. We literally destroyed a lady's life. I mean, all she'll ever be known as is the guy or the lady that had an affair with Brian Harsin, or at least a hope
allegedly
of affair. Yeah. And so you look at all that, the boosters were at odds. They didn't get their way, which now maybe they feel better because they got their way with Hugh Freeze.
I think they're all on board with Hugh Freeze. They're pumping the money in now.
But if he told Heather Jennings, I've got 2 to 3 years to work this out, because he knows Auburn will fire you in a heartbeat. You lose to Alabama this year down there. You'll come here to Tuscaloosa. You'll lose to them. Generally, Auburn loses in Tuscaloosa. Rarely they beat Alabama here. Then I guess it would set it up in year number 3 down there. Because you lose to Bama 3 years in a row, you're out. See ya.
Right. I'm looking at the schedule here. Down the stretch, Auburn. Oh, wow. Hugh gets Vanderbilt this year. That's a gift. That's a gift. Okay. Especially considering.
What do you see, 7 wins? 8 wins?
UMass, win. At Cal, win. Samford, win. At A&M, toss-up. Georgia at home, loss. At LSU, loss. Ole Miss at home, win. Mississippi State at home, win. At Vandy, win. At Arkansas, 55-45 Auburn. New Mexico State, win. Bama at home, 50-50. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, I look at Freeze at least going 8-4 with a couple of toss-up games being your game. At A&M and at Arkansas are the 3 toss-ups. I mean, he could have, I don't know, who scheduled at California? That was stupid. But anyway, I mean,
who scheduled South Florida for Alabama? Alabama's got to go to Tampa.
I know, but that Tampa, I mean, I guess I don't think you even have to do this anymore. I think it's silly. But, you recruit down there.
Well, I'm not sure
Saban
I know where you're going. I think it's almost a disadvantage for Alabama. They went out and scheduled all these big home-and-home series.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to come back to bite them at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, they went out and scheduled some big opponents for the future.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dude, Freeze could go 9-3. Year 1.
Please don't tell me that, Bo.
No, I mean, I think
man.
I think it's a high probability, very high probability, 8-4. Look,
take Hefner Freeze.
Take care of everybody over there. And where are you going to lunch today? I got 10 seconds. Somewhere good?
Southern Ale House. 1530 McFarland Boulevard. Eat Southern, be Southern. Roll Tide, guys. Have a great morning.
See you, buddy. Ryan Fowler on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. We are the Out of Bounds Show. 105.9 The Zone ESPN, brought to you by Dr. Kirk Jeffries, Eye Care Professionals. If you need cataract surgery, go to Eye Care Professionals and Dr. Kirk Jeffries. Back in a sec.